Hi neighbors. It's been a while since I recorded a video to you all. Sometimes even I find myself without adequate words. However, this is a moment when silence is not useful. So here I am with a few things to share with you today as I watch this wet and stormy spring day here in Whatcom County. First, just a quick and not great update, which is that as of 2 weeks ago, our system, as expected, has run out of emergency motel money to house unsheltered families with children, and consequently, we are having to turn them away when they come to us for services. I am sharing this with you because I think until we start talking about the problems honestly and transparently, we probably are going to come up short on the solutions. So that's where we are today, and we need to fix it. I have a few things I want to share with you. Maybe I'll tell you a quick mom story first. I was cooking pancakes for the kids this weekend, and they were asking me questions about when they were born. And I was telling them a story of when our eldest was born, Addison, who's just turned 10. And I was so overwhelmed by the love that I had for this tiny human who had come into my life. And I was becoming a parent. It made me realize this. I didn't know you could love someone that much. And then there was my daughter, and I loved her with like the whole universe worth. And then it was time to have our second child, and I had this little back of the brain worry about, like, is there any love left? Because I love my daughter with everything. And then my son was born, and it was this transformative moment for me when I realized that the human capacity for love is infinite. It's infinite and endless. And so too is our capacity for compassion. I'm sharing this with you because this is a hard moment in time. It's not the only hard moment for some. It's just a continuation of what is always a hard moment. But for many, this feels like a newly hard moment with a lot being asked of us at the same time. And I think if we can remember that our capacity for love and compassion is infinite, that we will be able to go farther in our pursuit of being the best versions of ourselves. In the span of less than a week, we saw 2 consecutive mass shootings perpetrated by young men. The first targeted specifically Asian American women. These acts of violence have reopened wounds that we haven't been talking about much recently, namely gun violence and misogyny. But they have also fueled current wounds, including the significant rise in hate and violence directed at our Asian American neighbors and communities over the course of this pandemic, and the conversations about the pervasive racism in American history and culture, in our systems and our institutions. As a white American, I want to just say to my fellow white neighbors that I know it can be really hard these conversations can be really hard, and it can be challenging to stay in it. And sometimes it's easier to turn away. But our neighbors of color don't have that opportunity. So I will ask you to stay in it and to distance ourselves from the violence, not through denial or defensiveness or disengagement, but instead to distance ourselves from the violence by turning towards those whom the violence is being inflicted upon, with open hearts and open ears and open minds, to say, how can we help? How can we do better and be better together? Lydia Place is standing with our Asian American neighbors in this moment in time, ready to do the hard work on this issue too, because though it feels like a lot, our capacity for compassion and love is infinite, and we have space for this moment too.